Merry Christmas,
Merry
everybody.
Christmas.
Merry Christmas,
everybody.
Did that work?
Close enough.
How
little
horrible
bit.
is
What
that
the
going
hell
to be?
was that?
Yeah,
What the
quite
hell
well.
was
We
that?
kind of the first three. I think it was Yumi and Lion that were kind of in sync, and everyone else was a little bit behind. I don't know. Don't ask me these questions.
Well, in the spirit,
No, whatever.
in the spirit of the season, since it is, well, almost Christmas.
10 days.
Yeah, close enough.
Yeah.
What is everyone's favorite memories of Christmas?
Sleeping, to be honest. Like not having to go to school.
I didn't have to go to school. Fuck you. Yeah, this
Yeah,
time.
that's probably the best
Christmas
one.
memory.
No
Yeah,
school.
missing school. No school was everybody's favorite.
I don't know.
Like,
Actually,
yeah.
if you want me to start with this, because the biggest one was I was probably when I got my first Lego set, but that we ended up getting actually a snow, and I'm talking snow on Christmas. It was unreal, and it was at my aunt's place and everything else like this, and they had a big, huge hill, and it was a suburb and everything else like this, and the kids after Christmas was not Christmas, but Christmas was done. The kids came out, and they come from out just to slide down this hill because it was all fresh snow. And you're talking about sleds of all kinds, everything underneath the sun was there. And we're sliding down this hill and all this kind of stuff and everything else. And the people behind us, there was two houses, and it was empty. It was just a hill. There was no house there. And that's where everybody slid, and it went down to a sidewalk and ended up airborne down again, dropped down low and into a tennis court. It was out there a ways, but everybody was making ramps and all this, having a blast. Well, one of the guys that started it all and everything else like this, his mom come out and everything else like this and said, hey, she's got hot chocolate and stuff like this. Anybody, and you never seen kids just drop. Sleds were sliding down the hill on their own. Hot chocolate, way out and up there and everything. We had a blast and everything else. And her mom come out with some type of not your common Christmas cake, but it was a cake, and it was like a carrot cake, and she passed it out for everybody to eat and everything else like this. And you never seen so many kids. I lost count after 25 kids were on this hill, just having a field day and everything else like this. And it went until dark and everything else like this when we could not see no more. My dad even had to walk because it was a good ways to get to where we had to be. And here I told him where I was at, and he comes, I think it's about time for you to come in. Oh, come on, we got still. And then all of a sudden, there were other parents started coming to wonder where we're all on this hill. And it was probably, I'd say, one of the biggest one I remembered the most and everything else like that. And what's funny is I still have that Lego set, and it's a reminder the fun I had and everything else like this, and people I didn't even know I met. And it was just had a blast. Had a great old Christmas, and all that kind of crap.
Yeah.
Speaking of sledding, I remember this one winter. Not exactly on Christmas. I think it was just around the Christmas season, but it was a couple years back. There was this big hill, a big hill. Everyone's sliding down the big hill. But after so many people going down that, someone got a great idea to get a wooden board, cover it in like packed snow, and make a ramp at the bottom. So, it kind of looks like a slide at a water park where it tosses you into the pool. Well, after a few other kids go down it, I'm like, okay, I guess it's my turn. So I end up at the top, but one of my friends ended up kicking me down, giving me a boost. Like they put their foot on my back and push. So I ended up picking up a lot of speed, and it threw me on that ramp, and I ended up falling off of the sled in the air and landed right on a rock on my back. I was out for the rest of the winter.
Oof.
Yeah.
Hey, Dar, this is supposed to
This
be
is
good
Sparta.
memories, not accident 101 class.
No. See, here's the best part. Here's the best part, right?
Almost
What's
in
the
AA.
best?
Because I was out for the rest of the winter, I didn't have to deal with the cold.
Oh, gotcha. Okay.
That's why it's a
There
good memory
you
for
go.
you, because you don't like the cold.
That makes sense. Okay.
You know,
What about
Well,
you, Lion?
I
What
remember.
was yours?
Well, like most Christmases, I was the annoying one who always said I didn't want anything. So there's that. But I do remember this one Christmas. We got stock every year when we were kids. My parents would do like big stockings with like candy and other random gizmos. One year, me and my brother got whoopee cushions in there. In our bedroom, there was a ledge like 4.5 feet up, 5 feet off the ground. So we had the bright idea to blow them up, and we thought maybe if we were to jump off the ledge onto the whoopee cushion, it would make a louder farting sound.
No.
So
It's not.
So we jumped off I jumped off the ledge because I was the bright one to do it. And I jumped off the ledge, made a loud pop, and I looked at the balloon and thought, where's the fart sound? It's just sad now. And I was upset because within 3 seconds of getting the whoopee cushion, I broke it.
Wow. What about you, Sam?
My favorite like Christmas memory is this one year when my grandma still had her cat Tiggy. Tiggy was wild. She would just race around the house if she wanted to. My brother, ever so smart he is, was like, you know what? I'm gonna get the cat to chase me, and me, my grandma, and my mom all sitting in the living room, minding our own goddamn business, and we all just hear my brother start cackling, like just he's up to something. What is he doing? Kind of laugh, and he comes racing down the hallway. Like there's a main central hallway where you can sit. If you're sitting in the living room, you can watch anybody come through the door, come from like the guest bedroom. I see my brother, who I think was like just turned 20. Come racing down the hallway, just in his boxers, with a fucking string attached to him, like by tape on his back, and the cat making a mad dash after him. And he's running around the main part of the house in like a circle, just laughing his ass off. Everyone's dying because we're just watching the cat, and my brother's just fucking screaming because the cat's claws are really sharp, so she's trying to jump and grab him. Which is not a good thing when you are just in your boxers. So he's just running. Eventually the cat's smart. Tiggy was a very smart cat. She stops, whips around, and runs directly face at him. And he fucking screams, falls over, as the cat just kind of grabs at the string and is like fucking around with it as he's laying on the ground dying laughing. And that was the most fun Christmas I had, because it was just literally us just fucking dying. And it still gets talked about every couple like years, because it's really fucking funny, because you would think my brother, who's very serious, would not do that, but he did.
What about you, Kor?
Oh man, the only Christmas I remember is a terrible one.
Oh, oh no!
Oh God, here we go. Here we go on the nightmare.
Terrible. I
Okay, listen.
Giggle.
It wasn't that bad, okay? I had to have a surgery, right? So they took out my tonsils. Okay. However, I was lucky because I got a lot of ice cream, so that was kind of worth it. But I couldn't pronounce the letters R's in Spanish very well, which kind of really sucked. But you get used to it after a little while, you know. That was a good Christmas, I think. Got a lot of ice cream.
What about you, What about you, Courtney?
I mean, the Christmas that I really remember, because, like, obviously you know that I like Mini Coopers, right? My parents went full out and gave me, like, a shit ton of, like, remote-controlled Mini Coopers, like, toy Mini Coopers, everything. And whilst I was opening them, they decked out my room in Mini Cooper theme, and it was just pure amazement. And this was before I got diagnosed with ADHD, right? So I was just overwhelmed to the max. My parents were like, holy shit.
Oh, that's
Mini
great for the child.
Coopers.
That's good. Hey, Lion, do you remember ever doing during your Christmas, your Christmas break, right? doing when you got older, not when you were a kid, but when you moved up a little bit, where stuff like this and everything else. We had one where I got the kids out, grad kids, their friends, and they go, and that's actually illegal in most states to pull a sled behind a vehicle. And we
Really?
were out doing it.
Oh.
Yeah, most states it is because, if you're driving down or off road, if you're doing it on a gravel road and everything else like this. But this was funny. A friend of ours, when they came over and everything else after, and he goes, "Hey, can we go sled and pull it behind a vehicle?" We didn't know, but we were doing it on dirt roads, not any major highways and everything else. We ended up. The snow wasn't thick enough, but there was snow and ice there. Well, so we put 2 sleds, plastic sleds, went down and bought plastic sleds. I got a rope out, tied it to the 4-wheel drive. Let's go. Taking the kids and everything else, and they're all in there. And weather wasn't too bad. It was almost at the point where it was getting close to get slushy and melting. Hey, let's go, because we ended up putting 2 of them together because we tore up the first one.
Mm-hmm.
The rocks off the gravel road was tearing the plastic all to hell. I would have bought an aluminum one if I knew that. But we got him and everything else like this. Well, this one friend, it's funny. We're going down the road, pulling him. He goes, "It's my turn. I want to ride." Oh, okay. So we stopped. Everybody switched. So I was the one driving because nobody could drive a stick. And get him in the plastic sled. Here he is going. All of a sudden you could hear him in the background. Hurry up, the dog's coming. This dog come out of nowhere. Started chasing, so I start slowing down. I didn't speed up. I slowed down. And then he goes, "Hurry up, he's right." You can see the dog. I mean, if he got breathe on him, it was that close. Hurry up. And I started speeding up, and I was finally, the dog gave up. And when he let go of the stupid sled, because that's what you were holding on to, it wasn't tied to it, because if you lost control and you felt uncomfortable to let go. He let go and that thing went down the ditch, right? And thank God there wasn't a barbed wire fence. He ended up landed in a farmer's field. We're all over there. He comes back, and when he did that, all of a sudden he goes, "I think I'm done for now." And he looked at him and I go, "What do you mean by that?" He was right. His pants were all tore up and lucky, and it started tearing his underwear. The rocks were starting to eat down through his pants. Still today, I go up to him and go, "Hey, you want to go sledding?" He goes, "Not if you're driving. There's some dog. Forget that." But most states, it's illegal to actually pull a sled behind a vehicle because they think it's dangerous. Well, if you're, yeah. Well, it's you got to realize, we used to get pulled by car hoods. A whole bunch of us, and then somebody pull us down the road and everything else, and use an old Ford hood because it was real pointy. Everybody sit on it and just go like crazy, and he just go like bat out of hell. Problem is, there's no control. That somebody just, once you let go, it's gone. Wherever it goes, you better just hold on, and hopefully you don't get hit in the head with the damn door or the hood of the vehicle. I've rode on a door too. Don't try that. That's stupid. And we've turned on, But yeah, even when I was in college, we got drunker than hell, and we decided to go sledding. Yeah, that was not a good deal. We ended up with 2 vehicles stuck in the ditch, and and we were only out for about 45 minutes. Got one stuck, then turned around. One guy goes, "Well, I got a good 4-wheel drive." We went turning around and got him stuck. And then we had to go find a farmer to go pull all 2 vehicles out. It was a nightmare. So, do you guys have anything like that when you were moving away further up?
I only have another sled. I have another sledding story, and it was when I was it wasn't when I was super older, but it was before I moved to the city I live in now. But my brother was invited to go sledding, and my mom was like, "Is it okay if my daughter comes? I can't leave her at home because I just couldn't do that." And so she was like, they were like, "Yeah, no, totally, bring your daughter." So I'm 5, 5 or 6. I'm tiny. I'm tiny compared to the rest of the people that are there. They're teenagers, kind of getting into high school, all that kind of stuff. I've put into this giant, those big ass tubes that usually they're for water, water sledding or whatever the fuck it's called.
Inner tube. Mm-hmm.
Like an inner tube thing.
Tubing.
There's yeah. We're at a ski thing. I don't know. It's a big it looks like a giant skate bowl, a huge one, but it's for sledding. So you just get kicked down this hill and you just go. So my brother's friend didn't realize that I was a lot younger than everyone else and that I was a very tiny human being. So he's like, "Hey, do you want me to push you down the hill?" And I'm I look at my mom for a go ahead, and she's like, "Yeah, you can totally go." And he plants his foot on the inner tube. He's like, "All right, He kind of slides me to the edge. Hold on tight. And I'm like, okay. He fucking pulls his leg back so fucking far and just slams it, and I go fucking flying. Mind you, I'm tiny. I don't know how to control a thing. This is my first time going on these fuckers. I fucking start banshee screaming as I go down this fucking hill. My brother, who's
I
at
can
the
see that
bottom
when
of
you
it,
say-
my
Yeah,
brother's
just
at the
imagine
bottom of
Doppler
this-
effect too with it, you know?
Yeah.
No. That's exactly what happened. He could hear, like, some other kid. I went fucking. They had already gone past me, but I had went so fucking fast past them, and ended up behind me when he gets down. And he's like, Jesus, I just was like, kind of vocal stuff, and he was like, but my brother's listening to me just fucking screaming, and he's like, catch her. Fucking catch her, because I'm gonna go up the other side and come back down at this point, because I have enough speed for that. My brother's friend, fucking, he was a soccer player, I think, fucking books it towards where I'm fucking going. Barely grabs the end of my thing, falling over, just to keep me from just going fucking flying. So we spin out, and we just end up in there's snow everywhere. I'm just sitting there terrified. Dude's laughing his ass off because he just spun around like a fucking ballerina and is on his back just holding onto an inner tube. And he's like, you okay? And I'm like, I want to go home. my brother is just like, we can't go home. We can't. And I'm like, why not? And he's like, cause it's fun. And I'm like, it's not fun. What the fuck are you on? I was not happy. I was not a happy camper. My mom was fucking laughing at us because she could see us just arguing at the bottom of the hill. Yeah, I never did that again. That was the only time I ever did that.
You know what? You're going sledding.
No! No! You're not getting me in
Hey,
those
Sam.
fucking tubes, man.
Sam,
Yeah.
I'll tag along. I've never been sledding.
Oh
So,
no.
yeah.
What'd
You know
you,
what?
Sam?
I'll
What'd
make
you
sure to
play
give,
on one of those
I'll
make sure
saucers?
to give you a good push, you know?
Here's what we do.
He's gonna
You
food
put you in
for
the
dollars off the
saucers.
hill.
We'll get them some metal saucers or sleds.
Saucers.
We'll get ourselves two
Mm-hmm.
snowmobiles, and we'll pull them behind us.
Snowmobiles. Oh, that's nuts. I've done that. That's
I'm
a
gonna
blast.
cry. Oh,
It's
No,
fun.
no.
Here's
Snowmobile.
the
Here's what we need to
saucer.
do. We're going to strap you into an inner tube on the top of the
No.
hill and just
No.
push you down it.
I will call the police on you. No.
You can't. You're strapped
do
down.
not. Fuck.
Well, she's strapped down. What we
Someone's
could
got his
do
phone.
to prevent her from hurting herself is we'll put a bungee cord attached to it. So when it reaches down too fast, she just goes back up the hill and back down the hill again.
I'm gonna cry.
Whiplash.
To prevent her from accidentally flipping over, we'll put another inner tube on top of her.
Oh gosh.
Am I a fucking donut sandwich now?
Yes,
What the
yes.
fuck?
Yes.
Okay,
Sam.
but speaking
Yes.
of like,
You are a sandwich. Okay, I'll shut up now.
Yes.
shut up. Okay,
Donut
but speaking of like
sandwich.
snowmobiles, my friend. This is a story my friend told me. And so my friend, she like has gone hunting, all that kind of stuff. So she has a snowmobile. She used to, when it was like there was a lot more snow that would fall, like where we live. Her dad would go get the snowmobile from like their like where would you house that? What's the other term for that? Like it's not yours, but
A
you
shed?
rent it.
Trailer.
Trailer.
A storage building.
Storage locker.
bin.
Yeah.
Yeah. There
Storage
you
thing. So her dad would go get that, and they would just have a snowmobile in the middle of the street in their like in there where they lived, like their little cul-de-sac area. And they would just be going around, and they would pull people along on the sleds. And I remember her telling me that.
Isn't pulling a sled called hickey bobbing?
go. I think so.
Yeah.
I think it is.
I remember my stepdad ended up having us kids do some hickey bobbing around the neighborhood, just around a circle.
Mm-hmm. We do it with four-wheelers.
What about you?
Get a
Karen?
long enough rope so the tires don't throw.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, Kira?
All right. As far as mine, like when I was a little older, I did go to this one place that wasn't too far from where I live. It's called Leavenworth. So like the whole town, they shut it down, and then like there's this one like tall ass street, and they make this mountain that lets you sled right across one of like the little freeway thingies that they got there. It's amazing. And then they have this like nice little train that goes around, and then like you'll see like Santa and all that shit on it. It's like Coca-Cola kind of themed. It's amazing. I think you guys should go. Hopefully they still do it. But it's beautiful there.
Oh.
I remember that. That was my second most memorable Christmas. Oh, the first one was better because I got more ice cream.
back to the ice cream.
You know,
Thank God he did. Thank God he did get pudding.
Oh.
Mm-hmm.
I remember this one Christmas.
Remember that.
I was a lot older this time, and this is after over years of me going, I don't want anything. I don't want anything. This one year, my dad tells me, Lion, quit being a bitch and just write something fucking down. So I write down a bunch of expensive random shit because I wanted to win this war of not getting anything. So I wrote down golden toilet, Ferrari, gaming PC,
golden toilet.
and yeah, I literally wrote these things down, just things that obviously no one could afford unless you're like Donald Trump or something. And to my surprise, my dad ended up getting me a computer. I was like maybe 11 or 12 at this point, and I was not expecting that. It was like a $200, $300 netbook, but for an 11-year-old, like the fuck. I've been one-upped.
It's like gold.
Oh, yeah, it was like gold. I enjoyed the shit out of it. I got like 8 years out of it. But I wasn't expecting anything. Like, when I listened to those things, I expected nothing from no one. I was like, I want nothing. So here's a bunch of ridiculous, dumb shit.
I got you there. What about you, Court?
Well,
Did you do any? Did you? What? What do you mean, what?
You're not paying attention.
Are you not paying
Right, here's the
attention? What's
thing.
going
I
on here?
notification- No. Here's the thing. I got distracted for a slight second because Caden and the others are like blown up Discord, and I've just had to turn my notifications off because it's just
Bro, I
going
got
mental.
woken up by Instagram by them.
Yeah,
You
it
have
goes mental.
Instagram?
You know my
Imagine.
pain, especially when Caden tries to do a group call at like 2 or 3 in
She
the morning.
group called us. It was like 4. It was like atrocious o'clock for me. I'm laying there and I'm like, what the fuck? I like rolled over. I slapped my phone and I'm like, what? I'm like, what is
Yeah,
this?
literally,
Who's calling me?
Yeah, I literally got into bed. She was trying to call, and I was just like, does she realise the time? She's on the same time zone, and she got like tech or her work to go to.
Yeah,
She said she couldn't sleep. Yeah.
it was
But no, so,
atrocious.
like-
I literally rolled over and looked.
So
at the phone,
think
like, oh my
about like
God.
where I grew up in Birmingham. There was like no hills or anything, so no one really went sledding. You'd see like the occasional kids like pull each other around on a sled. But the one thing the area that I lived in was known for is kids getting snowballs and just chucking them at random cars, buses, taxis, whatever you call it, or past shops.
Ah.
So yeah. And most of the snowballs would be mainly consistent of ice. So they would smash a few windows.
You know, you saying that reminded me of another Christmas one year. I was maybe 16, and the neighborhood hoodlums at the time was in our yard, and it was the day before it snowed. We got like maybe a foot of snow, then it warmed up, turned to slush. And so they were doing exactly that. They were throwing slush balls at cars. I go out to see what they were doing because I was 16. It's like, hey, what's going on? And I walk out just in time to watch them grab a slush ball and get it as a passing UPS truck is going by with the door open. They make it into the door, hit the dude in the face. He turns,
Oh God.
he stops,
Ouch.
whips around, ends up looking for them. Maybe an hour?
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, poor UPS dude took a slush ball to the dome.
Damn.
Okay.
The bit,
This isn't-
talking about snowball fights when I was younger, and I was back in Nevada, not where I'm at now, and they had a snow. that we had to walk to the school bus. Now when I'm not saying uphill and snow, he had snow, but it was up a hill and the school bus was up at the top. So everybody in that area would go up there while we were waiting for the bus, and it was snowing and everything else, and the school bus was taking its sweet time. But all of a sudden we had one of the biggest snowball fights you ever seen going on, waiting for the school bus, and it was from one ditch to the other ditch, and people are just pitching snowballs, and we weren't picking up gravel or anything, and everything else. All of a sudden, the school bus gets there, and everything else like that. And I mean, it's coming down pretty good, and we're just keep going. And she turns around and opens up the door. School's canceled. We don't care. This guy just kept going. Everybody was involved. They cared. They weren't going to get on the bus anyhow, and we're just having a hellacious snow. I remember everything else like that. And that's where I got myself in trouble because I picked up a snowball, didn't know there was a rock in it, and I clobbered a girl right at the top of the head, and everything else. And she went and told my mom got involved. How the hell would I know there was a rock in it? I just picked up snow and threw it, and I caught her right across the top of the head, hit her right in the head, and everything else. Like it didn't. She didn't bleed. It just, she felt it. I had to go apologize to her, all this kind of crap, because my parents didn't want to make waves and all this kind of crap. I told her, and after it was all said and done, we went back on and got back on the school bus. And she goes, I didn't care if you apologized. I just wanted to make sure you knew that there was a rock in it. I go, yeah, but look what our parents did. And I go, yeah. She goes, the next time I'll just let it go. Just let it go, because it was an accident. She didn't see me pick up and throw, stuff one in it or nothing. Because she sat right there and watched me load that snowball without even thinking about it and just tossed it. I didn't see what was in it. Yeah, it was funnier than hell. But that was I remember that. We don't care. And all of us, you just see the balls keep going and throwing snow back and forth. It's fucking hilarious.
It's crazy, though. In some places, snowball fights are illegal.
Mm-hmm. Yes, it is, because too many accidents.
Do that nowadays,
they get way too many accidents.
Yeah.
Really? You get sued and
I mean, here in California, yeah.
Oh.
Yeah, no. I remember hearing stories.
Snow.
I've heard stories from some other kids because military, so move around a lot. But apparently, in some places, if your kid is caught throwing snowballs, that's like a $500 fine to the parents.
Oof.
Wow.
That's
you could like get detention for it in school. Like for me, you would get like.
Oh yeah, no, of course in school, yeah, they're gonna not do the whole snowball fight thing. But this is just like if they're out in the park.
Yeah, we never had one of those. Maybe it's different for like Canada to like the U.S. because we
never really looked up into anything like
that's
that.
Not. I don't know exactly where it was because military. Moving around a lot, but one of the kids that I ended up meeting at some school or somewhere, they mentioned that you can't throw snowballs without getting your parents in financial trouble. Yep.
Oh.
I don't think we have anything like that in the UK, to be fair, because we don't really get.
We don't have it here. I throw snow at the kids all the time just to be a shit. I'll even bring it in the house and beat them with it and don't give a shit just to be a dick, Get up. Here, have one. Bye. I'm out the door.
So,
me and my sister done that once. We was sorry, Sam.
Off of Lion's story of like that UPS driver getting hit. This is not like Christmas time, but it reminds me of this. It's like every start of the year at my like high school, the grade 12s would all get into their cars and they would have water balloons and they would go down the main roads.
Water balloon fun.
No. They would throw it at the grade 8s. If you were a grade 8, you were walking home, they would throw those shits at you. Me, I had a trumpet and I was walking to school one day with a trumpet in grade 8. I have the trumpet. I just feel something hit my trumpet case, and I'm like, what the fuck? And I look down at the ground, there's just a water balloon, and I'm like, huh? And this car who's driving by, I just hear this guy yell, you can't even throw right! What the fuck? Another car comes past. another car comes past, and they see me just standing there with a water balloon in one hand and a trumpet case in the other, and they're like, "Nope, just drive, just drive, just drive, just keep going. Don't look at them. Don't look at it." My friend took it from me, and my friend is really good at throwing. I'm not.
Mm-hmm.
Not really. She grabs it. She hucks it at the car that threw it at us. Hits the window. No, it doesn't hit the window. It goes into the back window, hits the back seat, and it's just a cacophony of noise that comes from that fucking car as they drive away. that was the best water balloon throw I've ever fucking seen. It was great. It was awesome. Perfect days.
What about you, Gord? What about you? You were saying? Or did you get sidetracked?
So what I was going to say is me and my sister almost got into big trouble because me and her was having snowball fights in the garden. Because this was after we moved, so we didn't really know many people in the area. So me and her was having snowball fights. Don't know how we managed me and her going into the living room where my mom and dad were sitting and taking a shit ton of snowballs in there, fighting with each other. And I was in front of the TV. My sister was on the other side. She threw one.
Someone hit the TV.
I Yeah. Me and my sister froze in place. We were shitting ourselves because we could see our dad's face immediately change, and we was like, we fucked up.
Oh yeah.
But luckily, it didn't fuck the TV up that bad.
It wasn't that bad.
It wasn't that bad.
When the TV is
not that bad. Lion, you've done that before, haven't you? To somebody taking a shower and you take ice.
Oh yeah, no.
Ice and put it and cool it.
And
then we've done it with snow. You put water into it and then add the snow and it becomes instant slush and you just go da da da. I did it to my brother. You've never heard the bloodiest scream ever come out of a kid and everything else like this. After that, he always locks the bathroom door. But my mom come up and goes, "What the?" I go, "I did the Hygger treatment." And she goes, "Oh, seriously?" And I go, "Yeah, Dad does it all the time. I figured I'd try it out on a little bro." Dump. And it was nothing but cold slush. And he's in there in the bathtub and taking a bath, not a shower, bath, and just dumped it down. And God, I thought I actually killed the kid. It was that bad. It was that bad. He was screaming so bloody murder. It was unreal. My mom comes back and goes, "Don't do it again." I go, "But it was fun." Dad's over around the corner going, "It's about time somebody got that kid." And that was all that came out of my dad's mouth. I'm going, "All right, hey, I'm not getting my ass in trouble anymore. Hey, what the hell?" And after that, yeah, I ain't getting my butt beat. But after that, my brother, I give him crap. And I go, "Hey, bro, you gonna go take a shower? Take a bath or shower? Shut up." I'm locking the door because he knows I'm up to no good. And he never could do it to me because I had it done to me by my dad. And I just locked the shower. After that, I learned to lock. What it was is to make sure that you lock the door because you're growing up. Make sure you lock the door unless somebody had to use the bathroom. And that was the only time you had to. Because we had solid glass doors, so you couldn't really see anything. But it was just to teach you. And that was his trick. Yeah. That and it never failed. If you came over with my parents and stuff like this and came over and sat down and we were having breakfast, we always, courtesy, even in Christmas, hey, sit down. Never failed. My dad's the kind of person. He has a habit. If you put the toast to your face, the first place he slapped, he don't care who you are. Boom. Every time. And he used to do it to my mom a lot. One day she was wearing glasses and she put peanut butter. It was at Christmas and there it is. And all you see is an outline because there was big, huge chunks of bread and you just slapped it in her face because she was holding on to it, eating it. And instantly he just smacks you upside the hand and into the face. Yeah, I remember those. Those were the good old days. You don't see that crap now.
Nope.
Because you threaten to do it, she'll go, "I'll kill you." Your parents just look at you, touch me like that, and I'll kill you. And you go, "Okay, Mom, sorry, I won't do it."
Having someone shove snow down your shirt is the worst feeling. My
Oh,
brother,
yeah.
Yes, but when you do it to someone else,
It's funny.
I never
yes,
did it to
but when-
anybody. It was me that always had snow, like shoved down my shirt, shoved down the back of my hoodie, whatever, put in my hair, all that kind of stuff. My brother, one year, when it snowed so bad that it like snowed in my grandma, we were trying to dig her out. Me and my brother got very distracted. I had a ladle, my brother had a spatula. We were trying to dig out my grandma with a ladle and a spatula. We made like this little tunnel. We made a tunnel. We got to the door. So we waved at my grandma. We said, "Hi, grandma." We kind of made room, and then my mom was like, "Guys, we have to dig her out, not make a tunnel." And we're like, "Right. It's grandma. we can't grandma can't do that. We can, but grandma can't." But so we ended up just like wandering off doing something else, and I'm just laying in the snow. Just not moving, just laying in the snow because I don't know what else to do. I've tried making a snow angel. The snow's too thick. I can't do it. My brother is like, "Yo, I have a special delivery," and I'm like, "What?" He grabs my jacket, pulls me up out of the snow, shoves it down into my thing, just all bloody murder. Just bloody murder scream comes out of me, and my mom, I tilted my head back trying to get away from him. I can see my mom just like put the shovel down and just like take a deep breath before turning and looking at us with just the look of, "God, why are my children like this? Why are you like this? Oh my gosh." It was so bad.
So
Even my grandma heard it and she was just like, "What happened?"
yeah, I was the one doing that to my sister when I was growing up. We would whenever it would snow, doesn't matter if it's Christmas, December, January, October, we lived in an apartment complex, but my dad at the time worked early in the morning, so we'd go out, shovel the end of the driveway for him. Me being the jerk I was, I didn't grab snow like your brother did. I would use a shovelful. Go up behind my sister
yeah.
and just right over the top of the head.
Not,
One of my second favorite things to do is we all wore hoodies during winter. I would take loose handfuls of snow and just fill the hood while they're not looking. And then I'll go off my own business till someone flips the hood up, snow rushes down the back of their shirt, probably melted by that point, the squeal from across the yard.
my sister used to do that when I was in Nevada. We had a front porch come out and everything else like this, and everything else. And my sister all the time would never fail pick up a handful of snow before we got to the house and shove it down. And I was probably about 6-7 years of age and everything else. And I told my dad, I go, "This is getting ridiculous. She does it every time we come home." And he goes, "Yeah." He looked at her. One of these days, he's gonna get the best of you. And my sister, nah, he's too young. He ain't smart enough. Well, my sister went out off the front porch, and we had a lot of snow, fresh powdered snow, right? Right? She comes out, opens the door, walks out, and it had an awning onto it and everything else, but it wasn't enclosed. I opened up, walked out the door, and pushed her into that pile of fresh powdered snow. I walk in there, stand there. My dad saw the whole thing because the front door was standing wide open. Saw me push her off the balcony because it wasn't enclosed. It was just a two-stepper, but it was high enough, and she just went face first right into it. My dad stood there and goes, "I told you. Paybacks are going to get you. You touch him, I'll blister your ass." She just turned around and went to her room. She was just pissed because she was just covered in snow and she was just in her pajamas. It was funny as hell. Yeah. Payback.
Since we're reaching, the last 15 minutes, I'd like to ask you all a question. What's one tradition, one Christmas tradition your families do that you will always remember or appreciate? Let's start with Kiora. You want to start?
All right. So one of the things is that obviously because you know that I'm a Mexican, dude, it's always the food. My mom makes some of the most bomb fucking albondigas ever. Oh, that's like the one thing that I'm looking for every end of the year, bro. I still don't know how to make them, but they're delicious as hell. Yeah,
Okay.
that's pretty good. Maybe one day you guys can have some.
Mine was always just before Christmas when you get old enough and everything else like this because you have so many in the family. You got to pick out of the hat to see who the Secret Santa is, and some of the stuff you tried to come up to buy, and you had to keep it under a guideline, and it could be orneriness. It didn't matter. It was just the idea of giving, and some of the crap that some people got was just unreal. Just unreal. I miss that the most because it was huge. It was when we had, I got a kick out of it. What about you, Court?
So like on Christmas Eve, my mom, like just as me and my sister are going to bed, she'll give us like the Christmas themed pajamas and like slippers for us to like come downstairs next morning, like on Christmas. And we'll just like obviously open our presents, just sit around watching films and play with some of our toys and all that, and then me and my dad point horror films on while it's Christmas. Yeah.
That's different.
Really down there to the mood, but yeah.
One thing that my family does is that we open one gift Christmas night instead of opening them all on Christmas morning.
Mhm.
And if I remember correctly, it's like a mix of traditions because in my dad's family, I think what it was is they open them all Christmas night. But for everyone else, it's like you open them all in the morning,
Yeah.
So it's kind of just mixing the two.
Put them two together so you get both sides.
It's always nice because that way it like you get one gift that you open up before Christmas, So it's not like the super rush to everyone go downstairs and open up all your gifts. You already have one that you can play around with. Unless you're unlucky and end up grabbing the socks first, in which case, good job, you got some socks.
Socks.
Yeah. Socks and underwear.
Great.
Everybody's daily Christmas present.
Our tradition, we stopped doing it because me and my brother, like, we grew up and like we stopped being able to get coerced to do what my grandma wanted us to do, like sitting still to take a photo. So we used to every year we would take a photo of me and my brother holding our stockings together. And so I think last year or the year before, we took another photo, like we recreated a photo and then also took a new one. So I think it was one where my brother had put his stocking on his head and then I just was holding on to mine. Just like looking at him like with a side eye, because that was exactly the photo. I was looking at him with a side eye and he had like the stocking on his head, and we recreated that one. And then we made a new one, and I decided that I wanted to be chaos. So I like there's two photos. There's one where I'm mid swing about to slap him in the face with a stocking, and then there's one where I'm actually sitting and being polite to my brother for once. But I think my favorite one is the one where I mid swing about to slap him with a stocking. So like the photos and stuff like that, that's about it. There's not a lot of fancy things we do.
Okay. In my family,
What about you, Lane?
something my grandmother does, and it's been with me since as far as I can remember. She would made, I'm gonna butcher this. Maybe you know what I'm talking about, but I don't know the name very well. Tutsia pie, pork potato pie, basically.
Tutsia pie?
Maybe it's a French thing.
Oh.
It's like a pork potato pie with like some spices and stuff in it, and we eat that on Christmas Eve every year. And I look forward to that every year.
Okay.
Yeah.
You mean torture?
Okay.
Probably. As I said, I probably butchered the name.
Okay, torture is what I'm
Torture.
thinking, because it's a thing. Torture.
Torture, good to
It's
know.
a thing that my grandma makes. Yeah.
Yeah, I look forward
My
to that.
grandma
every year.
makes it sometimes, not very often, because I don't know who likes
never
it in our
heard of it.
family, but it's,
That's a
I
new one.
believe it's torture.
That's a new one. I've
It
never
might-
tried one of those.
I think
Yeah, I haven't
it's
either.
French. I'm not sure if it's French. It could be.
I think it may be French. I just didn't know how to pronounce
Yeah.
the name.
It sounds French.
It sounds French. It's a mixing pot, my family, so I don't know where it come from.
It's
but it
food
sounds
in
French.
a pie. There we go.
Well, my
Well,
grandmother,
yeah.
my grandmother immigrated to Canada from France and then moved south to here in the States. So it would make sense.
So
if
yeah,
it came from
probably.
France. But it's delicious. If you ever had it,
Probably then it
it's
would
like
be
basically just
French.
mashed potatoes, ground pork, and a blend of spices I've yet to find
Yeah.
the secret of.
Oh yeah, no.
I
It
just realized
smells
the inside
so
of your
good.
mouth is also green.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
I can't wait
I
to
am
see that in the
green.
video.
Oh,
'cause
yeah,
for
my
Questies,
tongue's
you're just
green,
an
too.
orange tangerine.
Yeah, it
You're
is.
just a tangerine.
I told you to quit
There's a
eating peas
tangerine that's
soup.
here.
He's eating pea soup.
Yeah, the day
Yeah,
that
too
me
much
and Sam
lime.
just go on
Too much
PC.
lime.
Well,
Yeah.
We're just gonna be able to see all of the wonders.
thanks everyone for joining us. Hope you enjoy your holidays. Merry Christmas.
Yeah.
Merry Christmas,
Merry Christmas.
and happy
Take
holidays to
care.
whatever you celebrate.
Ooh.